Queen's got so many amazing hit singles. It can be super hard to pick a favorite. But over the years, the members of Queen have revealed their favorites from their own catalog. Join us as we explore the top Queen songs chosen by Freddie Mercury and the rest of Queen. With his outgoing personality, Freddie talked about his favorite song more than the rest of Queen. But before we get to Freddie's big reveal, let's give his bandmates a little time in the spotlight. Let's start with Queen's drummer, Roger Taylor. Roger Taylor is one of the only original band members left in Queen along with Brian May. So he's probably spent the most time listening to Queen tracks over the years. While some bands get sick of playing their biggest hits, Roger Taylor still loves listening to Queen's hits just as much as he enjoys performing these timeless classics live on stage. In an interview with Shortlist almost 10 years ago in 2013, Roger Taylor revealed, "For Queen, I might pick Under Pressure. I just like that one. It could have been recorded better, technically, but it's just a special song." Featuring the late great David Bowie, Under Pressure is Queen's third best-selling song of all time. After Freddie passed away, Roger Taylor and Brian May collaborated with Adam Lambert, and this new Queen trio have performed over 200 concerts together in the last 10 years alone. So, what are some of Adam Lambert's favorite Queen tracks? Adam Lambert is certainly no Freddie Mercury, but some fans enjoy the energy he brings to the stage. His vocal performances add a fresh new take to Queen's sound, and this new chapter of the band has definitely made some new Queen fans along the way. All the band members are in a tough position when naming a favorite track, but it's especially hard for Adam since he wasn't around for the songwriting portion of the Queen catalog. Choosing a best song is a battle between what everyone thinks is their best versus what they personally enjoy the most. Adam voiced that dilemma saying, "I think We Are the Champions is genius. Who Wants to Live Forever is amazing, but these aren't his favorite Queen song." To make this situation even more complicated, the members of Queen also have to perform their discography, so that means that songs can be fun to listen to, but might be less fun to play. While he might think We Are the Champions is the overall best Queen song, Adam Lambert's favorite song to sing is Another One Bites the Dust. But Adam's personal favorite track comes from the 1980s album The Game. In an interview, Lambert said, "It's hard to name a favorite. There's so many great songs," Lambert says. "I think my favorite one out of the more obscure ones was Dragon Attack. It's one that I fell in love with." Like with Roger Taylor, he almost seems reluctant to name a favorite. Is it because he's afraid of being basic? Or maybe he doesn't want to cheapen the deep cuts? Either way, Brian May and Freddie Mercury were much more upfront about their favorite Queen songs. But before we get to the two masterminds of Queen's songwriting, let's take a look at the mysterious John Deacon. Now, John Deacon set himself apart from his bandmates. The shy and reserved bassist has been out of the limelight for decades after he left the band in 1997. Deacon continued to stay with the band for some time, but eventually he stopped talking to the rest of Queen and has been living life outside of the public eye ever since. Amazingly, some of Queen's most successful tracks aren't doing so hot, with streaming We Are the Champions way down in the number 8 spot, while Don't Stop Me Now is all the way up at number 2. In a hilarious twist, Deacon has told the world that Don't Stop Me Now is actually one of his least favorite tracks. While we know what he doesn't like, he's kept quiet over the years, so it's hard to tell what John Deacon's favorite Queen song would be. Which song do you think he would pick? On the flip side to Deacon's silence, the founder of Queen, Brian May, has talked about his personal favorites a lot. And there's no shortage of Brian May interviews with a guitarist driving the band for the last 30 or so years. Brian May was one of the major creative forces of Queen alongside his frontman, Freddie Mercury. So, they have a much more intimate connection to their favorite songs, since the duo basically wrote almost every track together. So, what is Brian May's top pick? Written by his friend Freddie Mercury, the song The Miracle holds a special place in Brian May's heart. It was the fifth and last single in the title track from Queen's 1989 album. This track was written soon after Freddie Mercury dropped the bombshell news to the rest of Queen that he had an AIDS diagnosis. Brian called the track strange, unique, and magical. May also said he loves The Miracle, especially because Freddie wrote it at a time when it was very hard for him to be optimistic, and he was. It's just very beautiful. I'll go for that. The lyrics feature a lot of revealing details about Freddie's life, including his biggest personal joys like Jimi Hendrix, Captain Cook, the Towers of Babel, Cain and Abel, and the Taj Mahal. Before Freddie joined Queen, he was following Hendrix as a fan as he traveled across the UK during his tours. It's touching to see Brian choose a song that celebrates the life of his friend and vocalist, and it leads perfectly into Freddie's own favorite Queen song. Freddie's favorite track was revealed in the biography of Freddie Mercury titled An Intimate Biography of Freddie Mercury. Freddie's favorite Queen song is one that wasn't shared by any of his former bandmates. Instead, Freddie picked the gospel track, Find Me Somebody to Love. Which is an incredibly personal song that was born from Freddie's own struggles with finding love. Even before Queen was on top of the world, Freddie Mercury was in a long-term relationship with Mary Austin. The two had a falling out over Freddie's bisexuality, but continued to remain friends up until his final breath. Find Me Somebody to Love is a complicated song that details Freddie's longing for commitment in spite of his own promiscuity. Does love mean being in a monogamous relationship? Freddie certainly was interested in polyamorous flings, but it's hard to tell where love fits into the equation. The song could also be about making love, and Freddie was no stranger to one-night stands, saying, "I used to be just an old slag who woke up and wondered who he wanted today. I lived for sex." While Freddie lived his lifestyle for most of his life, it's hard to know whether or not it was fulfilling for him. Maybe Mercury's one-night stands were his desperate attempts to fill the hole in his heart after he broke off his engagement with Mary Austin. When writing the song, Freddie looked to the legendary soul singer Aretha Franklin for inspiration. In the book Somebody to Love, The Life, Death, and Legacy of Freddie Mercury, Freddie says, "For Somebody to Love, we had the same three people singing on the big choir section, but I think it had a different kind of technical approach because it was a gospel way of singing, which was different to us. That track was me going a bit mad. I just wanted to write something in the Aretha Franklin kind of mode." In Bohemian Rhapsody, the definitive biography of Freddie Mercury, Freddie went on to say, "I was inspired by the gospel approach she had on her earlier albums. Although it might sound like the same approach on the harmonies, it is very different in the studio because it's a different range. You can hear these choir influences on many other Queen tracks, like their most famous song, Bohemian Rhapsody, which came out 1 year prior to Freddie's favorite. With that in mind, it's possible that Somebody to Love was Freddie's reprise on the Bohemian Rhapsody sound, and it may have represented perfection of the gospel rock fusion that made Queen stand out among their contemporaries. Freddie's mother, Jen Pulsara, said Find Me Somebody to Love was her favorite track too, showing how powerful the song was for those who knew Freddie the best. Axis reported that Rami Malek also had the song at the top of his favorite Queen tracks. Malik's deep connection with the late Queen frontman no doubt helped him channel Freddie's spark so well during his lead role in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. Even though Freddie had a clear blueprint in mind for the track that would become his favorite, it took the band a long time to lay out the final recording of Find Me Somebody to Love. Over the course of a full work week of recording efforts, Freddie went on to say, "I knew I wanted a gospel choir feel to it, and I knew we'd have to do it all ourselves. You can imagine how long it took to do it, over and over and over again." Throughout the recording process, maybe Freddie was also searching for the song itself, and the very music he was striving for became his Somebody to Love. Queen's perfectionist songwriting approach worked out well for the song, as it quickly climbed to the number 30 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. Maybe Freddie Mercury didn't leave the perfectionism in the recording booth and instead went home every night looking for a perfect relationship that never came. Brian, Taylor, and Lambert will be reuniting in May of 2021 to continue the Rhapsody Tour, where they're sure to play all their favorite tracks and hopefully your favorites too. Will you be checking out Queen's live shows this summer? What's your favorite Queen song? Let us know in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.